Before I put my lip gloss on, I just wanted to let you guys know that it's healed as much as it could in the past week. Look at the earrings that my mother-in-law got me. I hate that you're not gonna be able to fully see them, but you know what I have on. She also got me these cute little witch hats. This story I'm about to tell you is from Matamoros, which again is the Mexico town that borders Brownsville, Texas, and basically a lot of our backyards. So this story is coming from the girlfriend's point of view, but this is regarding her ex. Years ago, she is dating her ex-boyfriend and he works at a funeral home, and there's one particular night where he was called into work because a 7-year-old boy had passed away and his family were requesting services. The parents requested for him to put him in his first communion outfit because he didn't even get to do that. So of course, at the request of the parents, he put the little boy in the first communion outfit. He puts the boy in the hearse and he drives, the coffin with the boy all the way to the cemetery. He had already overheard that the family was going to stay overnight to pray for the little boy, and it wasn't this big thing. It was just going to be very close family members that were going to stay there overnight and leave in the morning. So about 5 to 6 months later, he's driving the hearse and realizes that he's hungry, so he wanted to go and get some food and then leave and eat it at work. So he ends up spotting this taco stand and he gets out and orders the food that he wants. And the lady responds "You're not gonna buy anything for your son?" Obviously he's taken back and he's like, "My son? I don't have a son. What do you mean?" And she points to the hearse and she's like, that boy that's sitting in the hearse, he's been watching you this entire time. I'm sorry, I thought he was your son. I thought you might want to get him some food too. When he turned to look at his hearse, he also saw the little boy, the same little boy that he had put that communion outfit on 5 months ago, inside of his hearse. He got the food, went to the hearse again, and that little boy was no longer there. There was no one in that car. He does say that the drive back to the funeral home was really uneasy because he saw a little boy there. There was somebody in the car, but obviously no one had been there with him the entire time. When he does make it back to the funeral home, he tells his co-workers what happened, and they all thought that was really strange. Anyway, years and years have passed since that happened. Obviously that's not something that he's gonna forget, and again, his ex-girlfriend is telling us the story, and by this point she explains that she is pregnant with his baby. There was a lot of nights where she would wake up because she would feel like if somebody was watching her. So there was one night where again this really weird feeling woke her up from her sleep, and this time she opened her eyes and what she sees at the foot of her bed is a little boy in what looks like a first communion outfit. She knew that it was a first communion outfit because it was a white suit, and she explains how this little boy was just dead staring at her. She explains that his facial expression was almost as if asking her, "What are you doing here? Who are you?" She was so scared and so in shock with what she was seeing that she felt herself fainting. And this wasn't even the first or last occasion that she would have where she would see the boy. This happened about 3 or 4 times, and she said that every time she was scared, but when it got to the 3rd or 4th time, she would just try to ignore him and go back to sleep. By this point, after seeing him so many times, she decided to tell her now ex-boyfriend what she was seeing in his house because she had just moved in with him. This is when he finally tells her what happened, all those years ago where he had put the boy in the communion outfit, the taco stand story, and how he believes that this little boy has been following him ever since. Obviously, she was very spooked by this, and at this point, years have passed since then, and they had actually already separated, so he is now her ex. But she says that the story doesn't even end there. The way that they keep saying years, I'm this has gone for too long. I'd be so scared. Obviously, they have a kid together and they're very civil, so he continues to tell her things that are happening at the funeral home where he still works even after all these years. His co-workers in several occasions have claimed to have seen him with a little boy just going in and out of hallways or in and out of rooms. Everybody honestly thought that it was just his son that he had to take care of, or maybe he just had to bring him to work with him because he didn't have someone to babysit. But most of those nights his son wasn't even with him, he was with the mom. So yeah, people still claim to see a little boy following him and they think it's his son. He's like, "It's not my son." This story has no ending. This is how it cuts, this is how it ends, probably because it's still going on. I'm just curious to know why that little boy would stick around him, or if it's still that little boy, or is it pretending to be that little boy? Who knows, but what do you guys think?